The New York State Office of Addiction Services and Support, or OASAS, provides this podcast as a public service. Thoughts and opinions expressed do not necessarily represent or reflect those of the agency or state. This is Addiction, the Next Step.
Jerry Gretzinger here, your host for Addiction, the Next Step, coming to you from the New York State Offices of Addiction Services and Supports. You know, at OASAS, we have 4 pillars, right, that we focus on, and they are prevention, treatment, harm reduction, and recovery. And today, our topic is going to focus in on the last of those. That's recovery, and specifically recovery centers. And maybe you're saying to yourself, okay, a recovery center, I've heard about it. What is it? What do they do? What do people who go get out of it? Well, those are the questions we're going to answer today. And we brought in somebody who knows a thing or two about them. Jessica Feliciano, she's the Senior Director, Recovery Services with Samaritan Daytop Village. Jessica, thanks for sitting down with us today.
Thank you for having me, Jerry.
And I want to start with, we talk about recovery centers, and these, it's sort of surprising to think that there haven't always been recovery centers, but you were there kind of right at the onset of this whole idea to have a recovery center back in 2009, 2010, you were telling me. So I'm gonna let you start our story there. How did the whole idea of having recovery centers come about?
So yeah, in 2009, I was working for Phoenix House, and after doing some interviews with individuals that were about to leave treatment or had left treatment, we realized that they needed a place to stay connected, to continue their journey on their recovery. And so we submitted for an RFP, and in 2010, we were awarded the first recovery center, which was Bronx Community Recovery Center.
And so that was in 2010. And I was just mentioning that before that, people would go through treatment, and once they completed that program, it was like, all right, good luck, hope everything goes well. And there wasn't like a continuing, connection with these people?
Correct. There was no continuum of care, really. Like there was a graduation, if hopefully the program that they were completing had an alumni association where they could have some connection and possibly meet once or twice a year, but that ongoing connection was not there. So that's what the recovery centers played a part. And then after 2010, when we opened our recovery center, we saw how successful it was, and OASAS and SAMHSA really wanted to see more of these and got more involved, and we opened a recovery center in Brooklyn, which is still up and running. Glad to say is ran by Sean. Yeah. It's called the Brooklyn Community Recovery Center.
Yeah, and that's great. I'm so glad that it started as strongly as it did, and that we obviously, saw the value in it. And I think for some people now today, it's like, wow, like I said, you can't believe that this wasn't always something that was available to people. But talk about when that recovery center first opened its doors and you started to see how important it could be for people. What was that importance? What was it delivering to people who'd been through, a treatment process? How did it help them stay in recovery?
Yes. So the main thing that helped was peer professionals, right? We have individuals with shared lived experience who have walked the life that they are walking and can assist them in breaking down some barriers, connecting them to some social supports in their community, resources in their community. So that's where we saw the value of peer professionals.
And when you say resources, I mean, somebody's going through a treatment process and they come to an end, could be a whole host of things that they need to now be able to, live their lives substance-free. And that could be things like a home, employment, right?
Correct. It could be something as simple as, I don't have an ID. Can you help me get an ID? It could be something as, I need detox. I had a lapse. It could be, I no longer have my children in my life. I have an ACS case. Can you help me advocate with me? Can you accompany me to my appointments? It looks completely different for everyone.
And so I know today you're with Samaritan, and I said you were with Phoenix House originally when these opened up. And certainly over the past 15 years, as we see what's successful, what's most helpful, things change, programs get added. What is the picture today? If somebody goes to a recovery center, what can they expect?
They can expect that we're going to foster a welcoming, supportive environment for them. They can expect that they're going to be treated with respect, no stigma attached, no judgment. They're going to be helped.
And I would imagine too, like if somebody is concerned about going in, because like you talk about stigma. A lot of times that can be such a barrier to people seeking treatment or even continuing recovery. There's no expectations of the people coming in. Again, stigma is certainly not something they need to worry about. What are some of the hesitations that you see though that still might keep somebody from walking in that door?
The unknown, right? They don't know what they're going to expect when they walk in the door. The first thing that they may ask is, are you going to charge my Medicaid? Do you need my Medicaid? And we're like, no, our services are completely free. How do you feel though? Would you like a sandwich? Would you like a cup of coffee? So we're building that trust. We're letting them know we're here for you, whatever that looks like.
So basically, someone in recovery, any type of need that might have, the Recovery Center is there to help them reach that.
Correct. And the word recovery is very broad, right? Because we're meeting people where they're at, wherever they say they're in recovery. So it could be someone who is seeking recovery or in recovery, someone who is practicing harm reduction, who is minimizing their use. It could be someone who's on Medicaid-assisted treatment. It could be someone who doesn't know what they want yet.
Yeah. And so you just kind of touched on my next question too. It's called a recovery center. And we talk about, prevention, treatment, harm reduction, recovery sort of being the last of those four. And it's someone's gone through treatment and now they're living in recovery because it's an ongoing journey, not a destination. But if somebody is not yet at a point where they're in recovery, they're still welcome to walk into a recovery center and say, I want to be in recovery. Can you help me find a path there?
Absolutely. We connect them with one of our peer professionals. They have a one-on-one session. They develop a wellness plan, and we take it from there.
So for someone who was there, at day one, when the whole idea of recovery centers first started coming about, to see that it's been successful, to see that there is more recovery centers coming about, it's got to be... It's got to make you feel pretty good that this was a good idea. Other people said, yeah, it's a great idea, and that it's continuing to grow the way it is.
Absolutely. It warms my heart. This is such a need. Our peer professionals are change agents. They inspire hope. They have walked the walk. They know, what a person needs, and they can walk them through it.
Oh, that's terrific. So let me ask you this now, too. I mean, again, we're talking about more and more recovery centers popping up. For where you are now, somebody says, hey, I'm downstate. I want to find out where I can get a hold of these people. I think there's something they can do to help me. How do they go about it? Phone number, address, website? What do you want to give? So
Samaritan has 2 recovery centers. We have Park Queens that is in the Jamaica location. The number is 929-244-1445. Our email address is park@samaritanvillage.org.
Okay.
Our Park Bronx Center is 929-244-1500. And that email address is parkbronx@samaritanvillage.org. They can call or email, and we'll connect them immediately with a peer professional.
Yeah. And, you mentioned before, too, sometimes just the unknown is what makes people hesitate to make that phone call, to walk in that door, send that email. But hopefully they've heard this today, and that, there's no expectations. There's no stigma, certainly. Just, get connected and start working together with the Recovery Center, because the work you guys are doing is great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for sitting down with us to share more information about it. And I know hopefully we've reached some people with this today. Thanks so much for checking out this episode of Addiction, The Next Step. I'm Jerry Gretzinger. Until we talk to you again next time, be well.